high-quality work and fair prices. It's the only way we do business.
630-871-5500. CrossComPublicAdjusters.com.
Hello, everyone. Gary Sinise here. I'm thrilled to share that me and the Lieutenant Dan Band are returning to Cantini Park in Wheaton, Illinois, where we will be rocking for our vets. Join us on July 11th for the West Suburban Foundation for Disabled Veterans America 250 concert, saluting our veterans and supporting your veteran community. Tickets are on sale now at WSFDV.org, and I can't wait to see you there. Let's rock for our vets.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red.
At least 8 times in the past million years, it has advanced and retreated with clockwork regularity. If we are unprepared for the next advance, the result could be hunger and death on a scale unprecedented in all of history. What scientists are telling us now is that the threat of an ice age is not as remote as they once thought.
$6 trillion for that boondoggle. Obamacare, $3 trillion. Social Security, $5 trillion. Medicare, Medicaid, boy, oh boy, that's a tough one. Because how do you really figure what 30 million illegal aliens cost you?
Did you know that in 2023, 9% of all births in the United States were to illegal mothers, and 75% of illegal immigrant households with children are using at least one major federal welfare program, with the citizen child serving as the eligibility hook? Does that seem fair to you? Someone can just break our laws, enter into our country illegally, give birth, and then receive welfare.
And they say crime doesn't pay. I believe citizenship in this country, if you're a roach and you never work a day in your miserable, useless life, but you suck on the nipple of society, can make you an instant millionaire. I believe, my math has done me right, that somebody who doesn't work, never contributed anything, costs the taxpayers $3 million if they go to public school. But I'm a meathead. My next guest, however, wicked, smart, broad range of experience and success, from college adjunct professor to very successful technical trade, cash trade, equities, commodities, financial products, so much so, he's a commonly known face on MSNBC, CNBC, I meant CNBC, Fox News, Bloomberg, and anywhere that wants to talk about business, they talk to Scott the Cow Guy Shellady. How are you, sexy?
Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for having me on.
Now, I'm funging, rounding, adding up just the $30 trillion in debt that's been squandered since you and I had thicker hair and could do more sit-ups. However, it's the shortest amount of time for the greatest amount of debt, aside from the fact that they burn the money that they call revenue with obligations forever, and we could have at least cut out 20 million, 30 million, 50 million. Nobody knows how many illegals are here, but what we do know now is that there will be more, and they will cost more, thanks to the anchor babies, won't they?
Yeah, now I think maybe the rest of the country is understanding the ruse. I mean, depending on who you talk to, it's between 10 and 20 million illegals came over the border when Biden was in power. And they knew that that was the plan, because then they knew that they were going to get them all put in these sanctuary cities and states. That was part of the plan. But then they also knew something that we really didn't see coming, but they were going to let them in mass, and then they were going to actually make us follow due process to have them be exported one by one with some sort of court date, which is absolutely insane. They are haters of America. They're taking advantage of the system. They're now finding that they've got some more worse haters of America in their party with the socialists and the communists. But this is by design. It's not an accident. It's absolutely not an accident. And this is why they want to propagate it and keep it going. Anybody with a third grade education knows that birthright citizenship is wrong. It should not be. Now they've turned it into a business in Russia and China. Maybe they can get something done, but it's going to be an uphill battle. But anybody that's got an ounce of integrity and a third-grade education knows that this is a bunch of garbage and it needs to stop because we can't afford it. Now, when I was young 23-year-old that had left the country for the first time in 1989 or 1990, whatever it was, when I went over to England, and I got my passport stamped with a guy with a Bobby hat on, and he said to me, son, once you find a permanent place to live, we need to make sure that you report to your local police station. And I said, yes, sir. And then as I was walking away, he grabbed my shoulder and says, do you know why I asked you to do that? I said, no, I'm just trying to be agreeable. I don't want to get in any trouble, sir. He says, I asked you to do that because we don't want anybody coming into this country taking anything out of the pot that they didn't put into it.
Right. Well, you know what else?
That's racist today. You can't say that.
Well, that's the shield, the virtue shield used to hide the weapon that we've monetized social service safety nets. We've monetized it. And this is the beauty of this scam. And if it's put in the right argument, it's undeniable the fraud in the system that's built in the system, which is not a flaw, but it's a feature. And I'll tell you what I mean by this. You have this small group of Somalian pirates that have stolen and absconded with $9 billion and counting, really closer to $14 billion. And in order to do it, who was in on it? Everybody. Everybody who said they had a kid, they got $50 a head. Every crooked rat moron that said they worked there but they didn't. Every doctor for their scams of hospice, every nurse. Everybody got their beak wet and there was enough to steal. And that is our Medicare system. That's it right there. Our Medicaid system. In fact, the government and sanctuary states are running the same, less sophisticated scam than the Somalian pirates are because they have no oversight. And why they declare themselves sanctuary is to cover up the loss of decent citizens like Illinois is going through, New York, New Jersey. Pick a Democrat area. People are fleeing, brother. You know this. And how do you cover it up? You cover it up with just a head count. All you need is a head count. And that head count now, thanks to the judgment, and up until now, produced revenue by the state that everybody got their beak wet like they were running some sort of a physical therapy, never existed chiropractor shop in Minnesota to Somalians that didn't exist. What do you think?
Yeah, and then they all, but you talk about the shield, they hide behind the shield of racism. I mean, you can't even say they have a Somali problem in Minnesota, somebody jumping down your throat. I don't care if it's 100 Italians that were doing it. We have an Italian problem in Minnesota. It doesn't matter. You're allowed to say what's actually happening. But they jumped on your throat, and now it was so bad. That's why you had Small Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, and Waltz bowing to these people because they were such a big electorate that they kept them in power. I mean, it's the simplest thing to see, yet we can't do anything about it.
See, I'm hazy on who the victim in that relationship that you just mentioned is. I don't think it was the Somalians putting the pressure on the Tim Wallses, on the Ileana Omars, on the Keith Eliason, whatever the heck his name is. I think it's the other way around. I think that when they figured out, I got Ileana Omar, we're going to have this new group of communist squad members. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to craft these policies. During the pandemic, we're going to craft them, number one, but we're going to craft them, and then we're going to cut in the Somalians. And they went to the Somalians. Did you see that kid they just arrested in Mogadishu? He's in every campaign picture. Now, the question is, did he go to them and bribe them, or did they bring him in and say, bribe us? I believe it's the politicians that orchestrated the whole thing because these policies are meant to be stolen.
I don't think the politicians are that smart. Look at Walls. Look at Small Fry. These guys aren't that smart.
Oh,
and like I said, when I got out of the University of Colorado in 1988 with a finance degree with my solid C average, all the guys that had A averages, they went to work at Storage Tech or in Silicon Valley. They didn't go work for a local canvas for their local alderman. All the guys that couldn't get jobs with a D or a D minus average did that. I really don't give a lot of these politicians. Every now and again, you find a politician that thinks it's a virtue, and he looks at it like it's something that he's giving back. And those guys can be very, very smart.
All right. So
but generally speaking, who takes that choice in life?
I'll see your retort, and I will raise you one Jonathan Gruber. Jonathan Gruber, an MIT grad, wicked smart, with that ferret face, little cleft palate that he had going on, who wrote Obamacare, who hid in there what Obamacare was. He's smart enough to come up with all of that. And look at the explosion. And by the way, he, along with a few other Marxists and the Cloward-Piven strategy of overwhelming the social safety net system in order to take it over and collapse it, but they first had to expand it. And all of this traces back to Barack Obama. The mass explosion. You know, Scott, we talk about it. We glaze over it, and we emphasize. But it's truly incomprehensible. $30 trillion in 15 years. And counting, by the way. It's inconceivable. You can't even conceive of that amount of money. The whole country, 236 years, we had $9 trillion. Okay, he doubled it. But what did he set in motion was all the entitlements and the mass explosion and the kicker. You and I could get elected in the White House. We can't stop it. It's on autopilot. 85% of the money's on autopilot.
Right.
Now you look at...
And then they get mad when you get rid of USAID. So, yeah.
Well, here's the other thing. Who really expands it like every other Ponzi pyramid scheme you and I have ever witnessed? What is the one thing you always need? More people. More names to steal in the name of. Even though I condemn them because they're in on it, but let's say they're not. You still just need their name. It's like going to public school in Chicago. They don't go. Between the teachers and the students, nobody's there. But they all make $33,000 a year on a name. Not legal, illegal, none of it. I'm telling you, the reason it's so concentrated, the whole thing has nothing to do with altruism and we want to give the best. Poppycock. Every time you get a new name, a new head count, a new ghost count, you make more money as a state that is losing money by the millisecond. What do you think?
I'll let you. I'll give you a little bit about, hey, maybe this thing morphed into those things along the way. I don't care. You know, Obama, he's an intelligent person, obviously well educated. But to be able to foresee that at that time in his stage, you know, in this country, I don't think so. Because you can always, you know, find the one outlier. You know, I think Obama looked at the presidency. It was a vocation. He really wanted to do good. I do believe there's a few people like that. But he had Axelrod behind him, who was an evil person. And he's the one that was orchestrating a lot of the knives.
Well, he had the other guy who the terrorist, the Weather Underground, with married to that dog, Bernadine Dorn.
Yeah, but then we also, just think about it, though, please. Jayapal. You've already mentioned Ilhan Omar. We can go Schumer. We can go Jeffries. None of these people have two brain cells to rub together to come up with anything decent. I mean, most of those people, when I hear them speak, I'm embarrassed. They can't formulate an argument, and if they do, they're just doing it for clicks and money.
I'm distracted by their looks. I'm vain.
Yeah, I don't have any overblown ideas that our representatives, our senators, and the congressmen are anything better than an average person on the street. They just have the power of the purse, and you know what? Maybe I'm the idiot because they're the D- student that thought, hey, the only place I'm going to really get rich is in Congress, so I'm going to run.
Yeah, you want to talk about rich? None of them ever worked a day in their life. They're all multimillionaires. None of them pay taxes. And none of them get investigated because they're all on the oversight committee. That Ro Khanna thing is just priceless to me. But here's another stat that I find amazing. When you look at the reality of what is happening, I have a very good friend of mine, wicked smart guy, New York State, not Manhattan. Smart in real estate, built his own life, his portfolio. He was telling me about this co-founder of Google. You hear about this kid? This kid's he you know, if you look at him, his name is Sergey. And Sergey Brin.
Yeah.
Sergey Brin, and his parents brought him here. He was 6 from the Soviet Union. He had owned 5,900 units in Manhattan. He sold them for 6 cents on the dollar.
Yep.
I mean, unprecedented when you really think about what that is. That's unbelievable.
Well, I mean, for as much wealth as he has, it really wasn't. I mean, that's like you dropping a $20 bill on the way to the cigar store. No. But he
But
made
he's
a
not
point.
stupid.
No, he's not. No, he's not an idiot. But he's making a point by doing that because we're going to have. I mean, maybe it's the Mason-Dixon line all over again, but we're going to have 2 countries.
Oh, we already do.
Yeah, right. And then we've got all those blue cities and states that are going to be sanctuary cities that still are sanctuary cities and states. And by the way, I don't know if you saw that that hearing with the woman's whose daughter was killed.
I can't play. I got it on the board. It's on the board right now. It's so upsetting. My God, poor thing. I don't want to take advantage of her tragedy.
The way that the Democrats just kind of brushed it off is absolutely embarrassing, and these people have no shame, and I'm sick and tired of it all. I mean, I'm wondering about my country every morning when I got out of bed. We have to have whether males can compete in women's sports go all the way to the Supreme Court. Are you kidding me? What kind of a kangaroo country is that?
Yeah.
How does that even happen? I mean,
you've been away from me for too long. You've been away from me. I could hear it in your voice. Here's how you get a Democrat to talk about what a woman is. Call Michelle Obama a man. All of a sudden they know. You know what I mean? Come on. You tried to confuse me with Bigfoot over here. I swear to God, I was looking for the Pat Riley. I thought that was Patrick Ewing in a miniskirt. But that's just me.
But I mean, it's running rampant everywhere. They're stealing. I had some friends in Europe telling me about this.
I love how shocked you are. They're stealing. It's like going to a social club in Cicero. They're cheating. Yeah. Oh, come on.
But they were telling me back, 5 years ago, before we even had Doge here and Elon Musk, that these guys were going around some of these European parliaments and getting elected on the back of the fact that they were going to come in and stop the waste, fraud, and abuse. And they all told me it didn't work. They got elected, and nobody wanted to sign up for getting rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse in their constituency. It fell flat, and they're like, it's not going to work. Believe me. I'm like, no. We've got, you know what? This Doge falling by the wayside. I don't hear much more about people trying to, stop the waste, fraud, and abuse like we really were going for it earlier on. We've become another stat just like Europe. Nobody really wants to tackle the problem because everybody's fingers are in the cookie jar.
Well, yeah, cut me in or cut it out. But there is something that's changed with this Todd Blanche, who I have to say, I don't know if you're what he is. I mean, they are arresting people, brother. I mean, in the last 3 weeks, it's like 1,000 or 1,400 people have been arrested. So they are moving forward with the arrests far greater than they were. But you have to understand, you're combating the insulated fraudsters of the Democrat states like Minnesota or Illinois or California. You've not only got to charge them, find them and charge them, you've got to combat the corruption in the silver shovel judges. And that's every Democrat judge. So I do believe it's an uphill battle, which is why, to me, the smart play is to attack the entitlement itself. And I've come to the conclusion that we, the decent people, have to go full aggressive, get your back off the rope, and start to go after Social Security specifically. It's the easiest one to beat because it doesn't exist. You lied the whole time. Everybody who sells that should be indicted and convicted of a financial fraud on the American people. And I don't want it. I don't want it. Give me my money back. The deal's off. You owe me nothing. I'm right here. I'm going to collect it supposedly soon. I don't want it. I don't want to doubt. Forget about it. Deal's off. Give me the money. Gone. I want to see what they have to do when they cut me and you a check. What do we pay into that penalty for living and succeeding?
You're going to get 30 cents on the dollar if that.
Well, let's just start the negotiations. First, show me the dollar amount. I'll never forget when we were young. You remember they called it a self-employment tax so they could get you,
yeah.
Right? Well,
yeah.
I mean, if you were a moron, you were writing a check for $20,000 a year. If you were barely going to work like me in the morning, I was out looking for cigar deals in the middle of the day. Remember Buddha making fun of me? I was gone for 4 hours a day walking around. So what does that add up to in a lifetime? And the get is most people don't talk about it. 28 to 33% of us never collect because we die. Where's all that frickin' money? It's time to break it, Scott. Stop buying the scam.
Yeah, but you think that there's something there. There's nothing there. I mean, it's all empty anyway. There's a bunch of IOUs, and structurally, we default in 2032. In 2032, everybody's going to take a 28% haircut on their Social Security. So if you're going to get $1,000 a month, you're only going to get $720 a month. That's it. That's what's going to happen.
Compartmentalize the shavings, and this way nobody will squawk too loud.
Well, I mean, it's going to be the biggest thing we talk about for the 2032 election. I guarantee you that.
Oh, that's bad news for the cartel guys, because if I need money when I get old, I'm robbing those morons. I'm coming for you. That's the greatest retirement plan I ever heard of. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters?
No, that's like my wife. They don't call 911. They call family.
Exactly.
All right, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got. Are you not optimistic at all about at least what I don't think we've touched upon what we're saving through the elimination of this greenhouse gas, green energy boondoggle? I mean, he's ended it in a hurry. All that money to all that nonsense is stopping. I'm sure you saw not Rivian, Lucid, that other phony EV company. They're gone, out of business, closing, firing people left, right, and center. There's no more money sloshing around. I think we're saving trillions.
We are, but we still have a problem of $2 trillion a year with our annual budget. And so if we don't do a dang thing, we're going to be $41 trillion in debt come this time next year, maybe a little bit more, maybe $42 trillion. So we have to do something. I know we're trying and that we've got the best guy to try to do the job, but we really need to do some drastic things. We can't not just stop waste, fraud, and abuse. We have to cut spending, and we can't cut spending by freezing budgets. We actually have to have budgets get cut, not like keeping them the same, which is a structural, discount.
Yeah.
So I think they need to stop spending. That's a big problem, as well as look for the waste, fraud, and abuse, because this is going to be a problem with our bonds at some point in time. Nobody's going to want to buy them. We're going to be having to borrow at higher and higher interest rates, and that's going to spiral out of control.
Did you buy the puts in the crude? Did you see it at $68.03? Did you see it?
No, I didn't. But I did say it was going to happen that way, because at first everybody was talking, and I was kind of in that camp about it's going to take a while. We're going to stair step these prices lower, 95, 90, 85. And then I went back on air about a week later, which was about 3 weeks ago. I said, no way. You have to put your mind you put yourself in the mind of a trader. If we see the Straits of Hormuz opened, who in their right mind is going to be $85 bid for oil, or 80, or even 75, or even 70? This is going to come off, fast, and it did. And 68 is where we were when we started this whole thing.
It's right.
So I mean,
how about the guy? How about the guy that sold the calls and then bought the puts with the premium? I love that sexy bastard right there. That's the play. What did it cost you? Nothing.
I have a friend of mine that trades that very, very well, and I used to be his broker. And this has got to be about 10 years ago. I was his broker in Chicago, and I was coming on. It was when we had oil up about $150 a barrel, and it broke hard, all the way down to like the high 90s. And I was buying puts for him all the way. And I got to a point where people would stop making me a price because they thought I was working for OPEC.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Oh, my God.
The guy makes a lot of money, and there was nothing that made him happier than hearing that story.
Oh.
He loves stuff like that. The dollars didn't turn him on. Stories like that, he's doing backflips.
I remember where you guys would be talking about the trade. Yeah, I sold the calls. I bought the puts and the thing. Really? How much did you make? I almost made enough for my second wife. Oh, I didn't know you were divorced. I'm not. It's my favorite. How much money did you make today, honey? Enough. Pack your bags. We're done. I'm going to marry your cousin. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you making time for me. I really do. Thank you very much. I love you. What'd you do today, and what do you got going on tomorrow on RFD TV? Scott the Call Guy close.
I actually took the week off. We got people coming up from Chicago, so I was hanging with the missus. Yeah. I took the 4 days off. I'm never gone hardly, but yeah.
Oh, boy.
I thought I'd take advantage of it. So
now, are you going to just walk around in the Speedo and just, the whole week, just you and the old lady? This could...
No, I hold the Speedo and I hold the hose out there and just pretend I'm watering.
It's going to cost you a fortune in Viagra. Yeah. I hope you guys have a great time. Thank you.
All right, brother.
All right. Take care. We'll talk to you later. Bye. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
Broadcasting from the petri dish of corruption known as the state of Illinois.
In the upper Midwest, the nation, and around the world.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
There's a moment in everyone's life when you just get tired of feeling lousy. That moment when you decide enough is enough. Maybe tying your shoes has become an Olympic sport. Maybe you had a scare at your last checkup. Maybe you're just tired of sitting this one out. Whatever the reason, when you start your journey, you don't have to do it alone. When I finally made my decision to get healthy and lose weight 4 years ago and 53 pounds ago, I knew I couldn't stay the course without support. I called PhD Weight Loss. Best decision I ever made. I've learned so much about myself, nutrition, how to balance it all, and maintain a healthy life. No more sitting on the sidelines for me. Right now, when you call PhD Weight Loss and mention Mike, you'll get 2 free weeks added to the program, and they'll pay for the cost of your food. That's a $1,500 value.